This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
Welcome back to TradeFlow TV. You know the drill. Markets move fast, and if you're not ahead, you're under. The geopolitical chessboard has officially shifted from the Gulf to Beijing. Let's get you caught up. The 60-second commodities flash. The Trump-Xi showdown. The high-stakes summit in Beijing kicked off with a bang. Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a stark warning to President Donald Trump, stating that mishandling the Taiwan issue could push the two nations into conflict. Meanwhile, Trump downplayed the Middle East crisis, insisting he has the Iran situation very much under control and doesn't need Beijing's help. The billion-barrel black hole. The shockwaves from Saudi Aramco's warning continue to ripple through the market. CEO Amin Nasser confirmed the world has permanently lost 1 billion barrels of oil since the Hormuz blockade began, with 100 million barrels vanishing weekly. US and China unite on no tolls. In a rare moment of agreement, both US and Chinese officials stated they oppose any country imposing shipping tolls in the Strait of Hormuz, a direct rejection of Iran's latest precondition for reopening the waterway. Crude's waiting game. Brent crude is hovering cautiously between $185 and $106 a barrel, with WTI floating near $101. Traders are sitting on their hands waiting to see if the Beijing summit can yield a breakthrough to open the energy taps. India's bullion shockwave. The fallout from India's massive 15% import duty hike on gold and silver is reshaping the physical market. Domestic MCX gold has skyrocketed, and jewelers are bracing for a massive demand shift as the government scrambles to protect its foreign exchange reserves. Deep dive. The diplomatic disconnect and the toll road standoff. The hottest topic, the conflicting signals coming out of the US-China summit. The market expected the Trump-Xi summit to be a masterstroke of deal-making. Instead, we are seeing a massive geopolitical leverage play. First, the U.S. internal split. There is a glaring divergence in Washington's strategy right now. While President Trump says we'll win it one way or another, his own Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is openly pressing Beijing to use its UN influence to de-escalate the crisis and protect global supply chains. This good cop, bad cop routine makes it incredibly difficult for commodity traders to price in a diplomatic resolution. Second, the no-tolls consensus. Here is the most important trade signal. Both Washington and Beijing agreed that no entity should charge tolls for international waterways. Iran has been insisting on its right to implement shipping tolls. The fact that China, Iran's biggest oil buyer, is aligning with the US is a massive blow to Tehran. If China pulls its diplomatic support for these tolls, the blockade's economic leverage starts to crack. Third, Xi's Taiwan leverage. President Xi didn't greet Trump by talking about oil, he greeted him by drawing a red line on Taiwan. Xi is signaling that any Chinese cooperation on the Strait of Hormuz will come with a heavy geopolitical price tag in the South China Sea. For macro investors, this means the Hormuz risk premium is now directly tethered to the Taiwan Strait. You cannot trade Middle Eastern oil without pricing in Asian geopolitics. The TradeFlow take. We are watching a masterclass in global leverage. China needs the oil, the US needs the Strait open, and Iran needs the tolls. But with Xi putting Taiwan on the table, the price for Middle East peace just got a whole lot more complicated. Watch the UN resolutions closely over the next 48 hours. If China actively backs a condemnation of Iran's toll strategy, the physical blockade might finally start to fracture. Stay liquid, stay sharp, see you on the next one.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.